Gentlemen, ladies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Spider-Man Gained Carnage. Basically, if he became Carnage, but not in a weird, or not like a murderous way, but it's like instead of meeting Venom, it's like meets Carnage, and Carnage bonded with him. So, and before we get into that, how do you like my What If Marvels What If thing? Like, What If Marvels? This is the different one. So, yeah. Now, because I just was watching like a cartoon version where everyone got infected with like Carnage, and like her became a Carnage Queen one. But before that, like off screen, or no, hold on, let me rephrase that. So the Spider-Man gains a symbiote called Carnage. And the Carnage was before Venom. So he bonded with Spidey. And yeah. And it like took out crime, like not kills them. And yeah, he takes care of everybody. I was gonna say what if Spider-Man was that guy, but I was like, no. So he's a villain and Spidey's a good guy. So yeah. So then he ends up getting attacked by or actually got talked to by Loki. Because in this What If, Loki became a hero to protect. So he joined I almost said Justice League. Sorry, that's DC. Sorry. So, yeah. He joins Avengers. And, like, with his brother. So, but his brother and him trust each other and their teammates. So, yeah. But then there was another Carnage that was aggressive one. Basically, yeah. Spider-carnage. Meet your older brother. Or younger brother. So, yeah. He ends up battling and it infects everybody in the world. So yeah, like that Clap Girl, Hulk, and her, she became Carnage Queen. But Spidey was his, or so the symbiote and, or like Carnage and Spidey are permanently fused together. So they both know what they're thinking. They share the same memories. They're all the way down to, I mean, heck, not even like Black Bolt could even separate them. They joined the fight to try to, and I'm turning the Screaming Mimi into a good guy in this What If. So certain ones I'm changing to good guys because I want them to be like good guys than bad guys. Except for MODOK. So yeah. The Nick Fury, he assembled his own crazy goons, basically, called Spider Team. So yeah, with a few new members, those three, and Dr. Octopus thing was also switched to good guy. So yeah, he joined. Yeah, and they were taking out the like Carnages, but they're trying not to get like infected with it. But Spidey is immune, or spider-carnage was immune to their attack. So yeah, he or he says ready Carnage, as yeah. Or Carnage, he didn't really say that. He just thinks that as he like pulls one of his black pieces things off of his body and threw it, as it created a barrier surrounding the Hulk, or Carnage Hulk, and he turns around and he sees Captain America like waiting for him to like to attack. But he says, or Spider-Carnage says, well, what are you waiting for? Just attack him, not me. I'm on your team, Captain. As, yeah, he was like, oh, you're not fooling me. As he says, okay, whatever. I'll just take care of him. As he used he had also taser webs. Like his customization webs. It transforms the whole or Carnage Hulk back to just regular Hulk. As he says, I believe that the Carnage Queen is up there. As he points to where it is. As, of course, Black Bolt was like, or in his head thinking, this guy looks like a Carnage, but he's helping us. So, yeah. He swings around and, like, he takes out those, turns them back into humans, and, yeah. And he starts flying around. Not into a death trap, but the between the Venom, or Agent Venom, and Iron Patriot, I think that's how you pronounce his name, was with him. But they don't trust him. So, yeah. Like, there was a lot of weird. As she says, spider-carnage. I hope that you enjoyed your little free time. And as he says, no, you're still in there. If I have to get you out, I will. She's not in. Are you sure? As he, like, goes up and, like, as he goes in, and he actually like reaches in and pulls her out. And so the queen was turned into a symbiote. So he says, well, you're not going to cause any havoc. As he puts her in the jar, closed it, and he has, like, as he, when the one that showed up late was none other than Morbius, the scientist guy. So, yeah. He was showed up late, as he says, looks like my greatest creation has failed me. But that doesn't explain how you gained a special Carnage. Isn't that right, Spider-Carnage? As he says, I really don't know you or what you do, but I do know that you owe me going to jail thing. or he says, "Oh, I'm Morbius. Nice to meet you before I..." Hey, I can't wait to experiment with you more. As he says, as like, no more experiments. Carnage, or I'm spider-carnage. As, yeah. Then the unthinkable happens. Anti-venom, or this actually is the anti-carnage. So, yeah, he tells Venom, or Agent Venom, and the Iron Patriot to leave. I'll deal with the rest. As Agent Venom still doesn't trust him, but in that moment, he will. So, yeah. He runs and he hits Morbius fast as lightning. As he goes, and like, this must be Carnage's heart thing. As he basically went and absorbed it through his own body. Honey, as, yeah, his arm, it's just like the anti-spiral, or no, the anti-venom. I keep saying spiral because of Gurren Lagann, but way more dark version. So, yeah, he is fusing with it, or like draining, or like cleaning it all out. So, yeah, he basically fused with the heart. Like, he destroyed it before. And, yeah, he fused it with it. And so, yeah. And who's the first one that assembled or picked the team? Was none other than Miles Morales, I think. No. Opposite color scheme of, like, him. So, yeah. So, he became, like, or all the people went from this to being humans. As, yeah. Or during that, when Spider-Carnage told Venom to get her out of here. As they're like, what are you gonna do? As he says, gonna gonna save the entire world from becoming what I am. As he walks, or he runs and did that. As his body, and like, or actually, the Carnage Queen actually decides to break out and actually fused with spider-carnage. And so both of them are like, so yeah. Plus he can switch from in and out real fast. So he became the one true Carnage. Or spider-carnage. Yeah, so yeah. No more of these guys. But he still gained, or when he absorbed the heart thing, and like he actually fused with the heart, he actually copied everybody's powers. So he became, like, his body was modified. And a couple of days ago, the crime rate went down to about 0. So yeah. As she's has like a suspicions revolving around Peter Parker, but also the Eddie Brock and everybody has suspicions about the Spider-Carnage and Peter Parker. So Nick Fury asked Black Bolt and the Avengers to bring him in. But MODOK, on the other hand, wants him to be bring to him so that they could experiment on him more, or experiment on him. But of course, Loki's like, okay, we're just here to talk to you, Spider-Carnage. As he looks at them, sorry, I'm itching my eye real quick. So, yeah, he basically was like, must be Loki on a mischief. And the Avengers, am I right? Yeah, and if you meet any set of moves, we will have to bring you by force. And, by the way, when Spider-Carnage pulled her out of that, there was no trace of that at all. So she didn't, like, become that. So, yeah. He became, but he remembers everybody. So he says, well, I got places to be, and I try to make this city a better place. As that was Spider-Carnage talking. He says that, and he says, the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want anyone want to get hurt or get killed by those guys. So yeah, he was referring to like the bad guys that took away his Uncle Ben. As everybody's like in shock when he says that. The carnage that has feelings is like priceless. As he says, you don't understand me. So, I'll just do it. So, he flies up, or he webs off. Like, he's a lot faster than, like, anyone. As, like, Black Bolt was trying to catch up to him. Loki tried to teleport to him, but ended up failing miserably. Yeah. And yeah. So he sits down, gives himself a break before, and the screaming Mimi walks in. As she says, hold on there, big guy. I know that you're trying to be a hero like the rest of us. But please, we just want to talk. It's about your... As he says, okay, I do not listen to anyone except for myself. As his heart dropped in his chest as he's like trying to like, as she notices that he's in so much pain. That's why he was trying to fight or take down all the villains before. As she says, I know that it must be hard for you to accept who you are and all that stuff. As he says, screaming Mimi, I know that you're just worry about others. But me, you know how much... Or he says, you know how much I lost? This is what Spider-Carnage is saying, not me. So, don't blame me. So, yeah, she says, I do. When back there you said that you don't want anyone to get hurt or killed. But as he says, because the one I should have been there to saving the old man from getting killed. Or like he couldn't like he's so like aggressive. Like he's trying not to let out his emotions on anyone. So she understands that his emotions are as the entire Avengers were hearing him. He's trying to not break his like motions, but it made them so sad. Plus Black Bolt and his like the hat. So yeah, of course she's like, just if you want to let it out, just let it out. As he says, no, this this is just he has a lot of stress on him. He's trying to let him do his own way. So yeah, and plus the Spider Warriors were there, and they hear he's trying not to break it. So yeah, he's basically as he webs away, and Captain America understands why Hulk understands why he's dressed out. So yeah, as he went into a cave, and he starts sobbing, like basically like crying out, as he says, I'm a bad hero. He should have just gave up the hero thing a long time, or shouldn't just joined it. As Nick, as he's like pounding on the walls and because to let his aggression out or his sadness out. As the Avengers shows up, as yeah, they were surprised that he's not trying to like show it in front of big crowds. So he's banging on the walls like he's trying, or he was like crying out so much, as he says to himself, they should have just left the hero thing after that. And he still hears like not Carnage's voices, but the ghost of like despair. Basically, the one that looks like that, but more, as he says, you failed him. You won't make the same mistake twice. As it was drowned out, or like he has or like three personalities between Carnage, but this is the opposite Carnage, and or actually Carnage Queen, in more exact, and or actually is in the despair. As he's like trying to like as he like sits down and she got it's closer slowly, and she walks up to him slowly to not like, and she tells him that you or tell me what is going on, okay? Please tell me. And he says, fine. It's time for the rest of you to know the truth. My when after I got these powers and the symbiote or the carnage powers, then I tried to stop him or not stop him, but he escaped and ends up shot my uncle, or no, Uncle Ben. That's what he's saying, and it. So he's transformed into like a Hulk version, and like he's smashing up the entire cave because of that overflowing motions. As Screaming Mimi was right behind him, he says, or actually she says, calm down, please. As she wraps her hands around him. And yeah, they were basically trying to not make a, or before, way before, the Avengers, or actually Tony Stark told them that watch out for spider-carnage. He's probably the strongest one there would be, or probably the third strongest if you count you, Hulk, and Thor. As yeah, then of course, yeah. So Tony is as like the his after he absorbed every bit of carnage. Really don't know what it will be. As what his power level is. As Screaming Mimi says, let me talk to him. He'll probably listen. Because in this what if, back then, she knew who Peter Parker was. Because he or she always wanted to date him. But he always ends up getting embarrassed before. Or like her emotions got in the way. So, yeah. It was pretty scary. So, yeah. And only person that like is really jealous is actually Black Cat and her and the one that I'm on and the other ones. So, yeah. The She became the one who rules, or not, or she, or they actually, Black Cat wants to date Spider-Man, and she wants to date Peter Parker, and Screamy Mimi wants to date both. They're like spider-carnage. So, or both of them. Like, not two girls, but the Spider-Man and Peter Parker. So, yeah. And make sure you have your subtitles on, because it's just weird. So, yeah. When he was, like, on a rampage, as she, like, went inside of his, like, body and saw his image of what really happened that day, of his, or he was not a lion. So, yeah. So she's like, please calm down, as she wraps her hand or her arms around Peter Parker's like neck, and she actually did kiss him as he calms down back to his regular Carnage form, as she jumps out. And yeah, as she understands how much pain he's going through of losing somebody that he trusts, respects. So, yeah, Black Bolt and them are like, what did you do to calm him down? As she says, well, I accidentally went in, or actually, I went into his body and I saw the memories of his, and they were true. So, and better to not let under known. So, yeah, he calms down a lot more than any other symbiote. So, yeah, White Tiger could just. She's embarrassed because of. She actually knew what she had to. Or the Streaming Mimi had to do. And Agent Venom is like. As he says, sorry about that, bro. As he says, well, it's no big deal. But I just wanted to make this world a better place for everyone to live their own lives without having to deal with, like, what I had to deal. As, yeah, Nick Fury wasn't, like, upset, but so he went in, and Nick Fury says, well, spider-carnage, or Spider-Man, or, okay, so, how about I want you to join the Spider Warriors? These are... So, yeah. Or, these are Spider Team, and then there's, like, Spider Warriors. So, yeah. So, they do, like, training with them. Yeah. He actually pulls his own weight. And, yeah. Streaming Mimi is, like, spends way more time with Spider-Carnage and Peter Parker. And one day she actually wanted to she went and asked Peter Parker, what the heck, and you don't answer my phone calls? Nothing. And he says, well, I'm just not in the mood thing. So, yeah, he walks around, and she was being like a news reporter. She sees that, and as he actually did absorb technology to get better gear and all that stuff. And plus Spidey, on one mission, he had to work with Loki. Yeah, and Loki was a good guy, not a bad guy anymore. So he decides to join him. And, like, defeating MODOK. As, yeah, it went, like, south. Basically, MODOK says, wakey, wakey. Well, I know that you're pretty powerful, spider-carnage, but I need you to create my own army. So Loki got thrown in, like, little prison area, like, as, yeah, Spidey was getting picked out as his own, like, of course, Loki has a really deep connection with Thor. So he says, brother, can you do some assistance for me? I need some assistance. That's as he says, huh. Okay, brother. What do you need? As he told him the coordinates, and I'm quick, the MODOK has the spider-carnage in this contraption that's creating multiple, like, symbiotes or carnage. Okay. As the entire Avengers assemble and they all, like, go to his location, plus Spider Warriors and Spider Team went. And yeah, then there was a lot of like symbiotes, like different types. Like there's calm ones, there's ones that clap, and then there's ones that are these guys. So yeah, MODOK is like, huh, now the plan to take over the world will be mine. And all that stuff. Yeah. So Black Bolt comes in with his Sonic Screech. Just enough to... And so did Screamy Mimi. So, yeah. They start attacking each other's and, like all-out war. And... yeah. They... Of course, she climbed onto there. And she used her Scream ability. But this spider-carnage is immune to Sonic attacks, and he has no weaknesses, so he's over powerful. So, yeah. And... yeah. As he absorbed... or actually, he absorbed all the symbiotes back into himself. As he, like... alright. You fools. I only needed was one big one. As it was a big version of the Carnage Hulk. Way bigger than that. So, yeah. Then Zuko's, or not, or Spider Carnage says to him that, well, as his blades, or his arms turned into blades, that black parts, or that are sharper than anything. So he sliced up the entire way big symbiote without any hesitation. So, yeah. And everyone got their happy ending. Screamy Mimi became the Peter Parkers and Spider Carnage, his girlfriend, and she like was like doing something, and she actually did, or she like saw his power. So, yeah, she became Peter Parker's his girlfriend, and, or like, wife, and the Black Cat became the wife of Spider-Carnage. So basically, all three of them had their children's. If you really want to count actually, the Spider Queen as one of those wives. So, yeah, there was a lot of children. One that looks like the boy version of Screamy Mimi. One looks like a, looks just like her, but with like super red hair. And Black Cat and has a daughter. That's that. And thus had, what are those bugs called? I forgot their name. Well, I can't find it, so the had to probably know what I'm talking about. Those little bugs things that like fly around that looks like Carnage, and they're like, could be like those, but so yeah. So all three of them know who he is. Like, so he has three girls that really do know that he is the Spider Carnage and has deep feelings for them, or for him. Like, they care about him. And then there's one girl that always, or Spider Queen knows everything inside about these. So she treats him as like a king of Carnage. So yeah, I feel bad for them. As one mission, there was three of those, and it was against Black Bolt's brother Maximus. And yeah, he decides to like terrorize, but there was one machine, because he heard about the Spider Carnage. So he created a machine that goes right to the center of the core, basically to like rip out so yeah. But it has the opposite effect. As yeah, his body became more unstable, like basically like he's trying not to be like, because he had Hulk's powers, he actually turned into a Hulk, like Spider Hulk. That would be, if I had to, spider-carnage Hulk. So basically, yeah, he's trying to control himself, but he's out of control. As Maximus says, that's the... I never knew that whenever he get hit by one beam, it caused the opposite reaction. So, ta-ta now. As one of these, or mostly that big guy, grabs the machine, and yeah, as Spike and rest of them are trying to, like, get his, because he's gaining, or he gained extra personality. Like, he's literally tearing his mind to parts. Basically, like, first he hears her voice. Then he hears Hulk screams, his own voice, and the despair. So, yeah, they're like, okay, we need some backup. As, yeah, Spider Team went, and Avengers did the same thing. Screaming Mimi was, yeah, so they, like, came to, like, try to calm him down, as he wrote something of different, or it wrote different voices going at the same time. As, yeah, he's trying to, of course, Ghost knows that he's trying to communicate without hearing, or, so, yeah, they were, like, doing that. So, yeah, this is the end of the video.